there are two concepts of policy that can be deployed. Okuza Uganda nebeera ku ntikko oba nebeera ng'ensi zetwegomba, esinga Rwanda omukulembeze aluddeko bamulonze ne bamulonda, naye olaba nga infrastructure at least, olaba nga basirikale at least, olaba nga amalwaliro at least, olaba nga ensi at least, okitegeera. Oluusi abantu tebabeera wanje
kinga waliwo enjawulo
esingako okubeera e Uganda ne Rwanda. Oyinza okubeera e Rwanda notabeerawa notabeerayo.
Good to have you. Thank you for finally. I think we've tried to link up in the past and it just never worked. But I'm glad this time we've been able to make it work. How have you been?
I'm very good. I've been all right. Speaking about the issues concerning our country, trying to mobilize, organize, and sensitize the diaspora about our struggle and the love for a better Uganda.
Yeah.
Attention, all change-seeking Ugandans. The National Unity Platform USA Diaspora team cordially invites you to the highly anticipated NUP Chicago 2024 Diaspora Convention. Join us at the prestigious Marriott Chicago O'Hare, located at 8535 West Higgins Road, Chicago, Illinois 60631 USA, from August 8 to 12, 2024. Get ready for an event like no other. Prepare to be inspired by our distinguished guests, including NUP party leadership from Uganda, members of parliament, and special guests from the United States Congress. Engage with renowned experts and representatives from civil society organizations as we collectively envision a new Uganda. Our theme for this conference is Envisioning a New Uganda. Together, we will strategize on an agenda that NUP will deliver to bring real change to Uganda. Don't miss out on our leading training sessions, dynamic youth workshops, thought-provoking panel discussions, and a rally for democracy that will ignite your passion for change. But that's not all. Prepare to be entertained by world-class performers, including prominent artists from Uganda and the diaspora. Enjoy your breathtaking boat cruise and the freedom concert that will leave you inspired. Registration is now open on our website at diasporanup.org. Secure your spot today for only $270. And for those seeking to experience our exclusive boat cruise, tickets are available for $200. Plus, take advantage of our special hotel reservation rate of $179 per night. For more information and inquiries, please contact Godfrey Nyenje at +1 224 280 9419 or Helen Nandaula at +1 518 209 6244 or Daniel Kauma at +1 651 278 6724. We eagerly anticipate hosting you at the NUP Chicago 2024 Diaspora USA Convention. Together, let's pave way for a brighter future for Uganda.
We are fighting for freedom. We are fighting for freedom.
Yeah, absolutely. And the little that I've looked around to try and understand, you have come to realize how you've been a key figure in the diaspora operations of the National Unity Platform. And looks like you're playing a very crucial role. How did you get started on this? What prompted you? How did you find yourself? How did this all start for you?
It's a long background, but I was spotted by the initial team leader of the diaspora, Comrade Arao Ameni, who resigned, and then I was appointed, and currently we have Dr. Daniel Kauma. But I decided, I started by volunteering. I organized a group of friends. I remember our first meeting was held in my church. Shout out to Fireplace Church here in Boston. Pastor Ori. He gave us the space to hold our initial meeting. I called a few friends. We sat in a circle and said, this has to stop. That was after the arrest of Honorable Chagulanyi. We said we can't watch, we can't just keep working and pulling hours while our country goes to the dogs. So we agreed. We decided to. I invited about 13 people, and I pitched my idea, and I said, why don't we make a group and start, sensitizing each other and mobilizing finances specifically. And I was very clear that we are looking for finances to support the struggle back home. Out of the 13, only 7 were in agreement. The others sort of disappeared. They said, oh, we'll see, we'll think about it. But the 7 were decided and clear about what they wanted to do. They thought it was a good idea, and that's how we started. We grew from 13 to 200 to 300 to about 600 people who were, mobilizing resources just in Boston alone. In that, as we were growing, I was spotted by Arao, and then later Honorable Chagulanyi, the president of the National Unity Platform, and I was appointed team leader, and that's how we started organizing, mobilizing, and sensitizing. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. And how has this evolved? How is this strategy? How are you going about the sensitization of the diaspora community about these issues? How has this?
It's like anything good. It has its challenges. It is very rewarding work. Because we are voluntary, we volunteer to do this work. Everyone you see running around is a volunteer. Even those who are appointed are volunteers. You are appointed, but you are volunteers.
Volunteer because there's no remuneration. You're not paid. Is that what it is? Nobody's paying you to go do anything.
Yeah, there's no one who pays you. There's no one, and even the expenses you incur while doing this work. Say you have to fly to Chicago to attend the convention, you have to go and initiate a new chapter in California. You pay for your ticket. There's no, because we value the resources that diasporians provide to this struggle. So we don't plan or intend to spend those resources on ourselves, but we intend to have those resources remunerated back home to ignite the fire that's burning. We want to keep that fire burning, so we don't touch those resources. We endeavor to be present. We spend our own costs to do the work. So it's voluntary, and that is challenging in of itself.
Yeah.
Because imagine, you're losing a weekend. First of all, you know what that means. I hope.
Yeah.
I hope you're not too well off not to understand.
No, I'm telling you. None of us. Very few people. I think all of us are in the same boat.
There are people who really don't care, and that's fine. But majority of the diaspora understand what it means taking a weekend off, taking 4 days off to travel to a different state, to travel to a different country, even to do, to organize an event locally. Because organizing, let's say, a cookout or prayers or a town hall meeting, even locally, you want to organize chairs, you want to go get a permit, you want to organizing demonstrations, all that is time you take off work. And that in of itself makes the work challenging.
Absolutely.
But it is so rewarding because the diaspora is so hungry for an opportunity to contribute to this struggle. You meet the mama who never lives at Chiyumba, who works at a Mukade's job, but always on social media following these issues. When they get an opportunity to sit in a town hall meeting and hear people thinking the way she thinks, or even, getting an opportunity to share her thoughts on what's going on, you get rewarded. And these people are so grateful that there are people like myself and others who have volunteered to do this work, because if the volunteers were not coming up to do the work, they wouldn't have that opportunity. They wouldn't know where to begin. They wouldn't know who to talk to.
Yeah,
so it's very rewarding. You know, those mamas call us mutabani wange, jangu wano. They treat us like their sons. They are so cautious. They pray for us. It is rewarding in that sense, but very challenging. The other challenges are, you know, of course, people who don't understand, who struggle to understand the original idea of the movement and the struggle. You know, we are so used to organizations like, you know, the local organizations where there's a leader, an organizational leader who is elected. There is, you know, there are funds collected, and, you know, and the leader gets these privileges. And some people join thinking that being a diaspora leader is a privilege. You know, you get the front seat, but here it is, you know,
it's responsibility, it's work.
It is, you know, I know for all organizations, trust me, organizing people in the diaspora, getting people to come together in the diaspora is work in of itself, even though you are being paid. But it is different for us when you are giving your funds, giving your time, taking time away from family, taking time away from going to the bar. You know, other people are in the bar partying, but you're there to talk about the struggle. You know, it's different for us. We live a very different life here in the diaspora. So it's challenging that people, you know, some people see you and they think, oh, mwache kuba mwana or whatever, and you're like, I wish you knew. You're like, I wish you knew what we go through.
Yeah,
we enjoy what we do, and you know, the reason we have managed to be present all this while and you know, and active, and the reason we've managed to continue to grow is, it's not just you know, sometimes you do that work and you think, oh, is it just me talking about these things? Right? But then as you go, you keep seeing people cropping up, you know, with the fire that you didn't know existed, right? I'll give an example of a gentleman here in Boston. He's called Mr. Amazing. He runs our Boston chapter meetings. This guy, I don't know where he came from. That guy has fire. He is passionate. So, you know, you never know where people crop up from. I've seen what the chairman of the NUP convention in Chicago, Mwami Nyenje Godfrey, how he has, you know, owned that space and, you know, run things and volunteered. Shout out to Mwami Nyenje. Shout out to the entire team. Coordinator Helen Nandaula, Aaron Nabatanzi, the treasurer, Derek Magola, Mwami Kaka. We have, you know, our Chicago team has been impressive. You know, the community is fairly slow to respond, but you know, the team that is doing the work is killing it. You know, they're doing more work than we thought, you know, than we ever imagined. So I'm grateful and I'm impressed. So sometimes when you see those people, they, you know, you hold hands and move together and push on.
Fantastic. So now this is a very good way to segue into the Chinaise and Take. So how are these preparations? You hinted right at the team. I am very aware of what they're doing. I know them. Mr. Nyenje is my neighbor here. And, they're very passionate.
How far away from you?
Oh, I can't even walk to his place. Yeah, I can easily walk to his house. So
nice.
Yeah. Wow. So how is this now that this is the last week? I see you are pushing a lot of guests, the leadership team coming from Uganda and all that. What is it that you want to say to the community now to bring them out. Bakunge to bring them out. Last minute. Hey.
Bakunge, nayo njogeza Luzungu, but it's
by the way, I forgot to tell you,
Yeah.
this program I do in Uganda,
Okay.
but because of your name, I didn't want to start with Maluganda. But I am very open to any language, but I even prefer Maluganda. Bakunge.
I speak more Uganda than you can even imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey. Okay.
I happen not to speak many of Uganda's languages yet. I am striving, but unfortunately, I haven't been able to. That's why I don't assume that everybody speaks my language. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good. Hey,
Yes.
you are a very fair man. That's a very fair way of thinking. What can I say about the conversion? I mean, the weekend from the 8th to the 12th, which is next weekend, it's going to be massive. Many people have signed up, they've registered to be part of it. We have a full-on program. If you give me time, I will read through it item by item.
Please, I would love to.
About our conversion.
Kubanga bajja wano mbabuuza nnyo ebigendererwa biri kiki ekigendererwa mu convention zino ezitegekebwa mu diaspora, because I think that's where
oba ntandike ne background conversion ni mu struggle muno tulinamu omwami agiruddemu ennyo amuyita Karimu Ntambi. Oba omumanyi erinnya eryo?
Mumanyi Karimu Ntambi, yes.
Karimu yatandika okwekalakaasa e Washington DC mu biseera bya Sebaggala.
Wow.
So we call him the judge of the struggle. Even though he's not a judge per se, but he's the judge of our setting. Anyway, right after the election, the 2021, January 2021 Uganda presidential election, the victory was rigged. Our victory was rigged. People were arrested. I personally was arrested in Lira.
Yes, I followed that, and thank God you are out. And
but we, look at everyone coming up to say, prison is not the end of life. Jail is not the end of life. I hope that, our arrests and our persistence inspires people to come up. Kuba tebasobola tusiba fenna, tebasobola tumalawo ate, ekyo kyokka kyongera abantu amaanyi, abantu abatulaba baddamu amaanyi ne bakomawo ne bongera okuweereza. So I encourage people to take those risks, take them and fight, and we'll be with you right there.
Okay.
Anyway, going back to the background, so after the election, we had a few months of cold feet.
After everything that's transpired.
Yes, me, the reason I went to Uganda to man the election, I was sure that we are going to what? We are going to take over this government. Not just to win, but we are going to take over this government.
What is the difference between the two there? The win and the takeover. The win, I thought you win, essentially you take over.
Because we won. We won the election, but we didn't take over power. So for me, it was not just winning the election, but I was confident that we were going to take over the government.
Okay.
And we were going to come into government and take over. I had, you could blame a little bit of two things. I thought that Museveni might be a reasonable guy. I don't know why, because I had seen these things, but I thought that you know, if he saw the expression of the passion that people were expressing at the time, it would be maybe reasonable to say, okay, let me hand over Uganda peacefully so that we can, because it's more, it's say that again? I didn't hear what you said.
No, Gamati, what you maybe he would look at that and say, let me give them their will.
Yeah, let me give them their will. But it's not up to him to give it, but also to respect the people's efforts, you know, to respect the people's opinion. And it's insulting to Ugandans that they expressed themselves and their opinion was very underlooked, dismissed, stepped over. So ekyo kyokka kikkanga kikunyogoza okugamba muntu nabaki who is willing to kill. And I tell people this, that the people we are fighting, imagine someone saying ngenda kutta nfune kyenjagala. I don't know gwe lowoozaako waliwo ekintu ky'olowoozaako mu nsi muno n'ogamba oyo omuntu yenna akinnemesa ngenda mutta. That is the mindset of the people we are fighting against. Otegeera. So it is shocking, it is a scary thought realistically. You know, abantu abo be basinga okuseka. When you see Anita Among smiling, when you see Tayebwa smiling, even Museveni himself when he's smiling, oyinza okulowooza nti muntu. Naye what is at the back of their minds is that omuntu asemberera kino ekintu kati bakiyita kintu kyabwe, right? Omuntu asemberera kino ekintu tujja mutta. So it's a different mindset when you think about it that way. So I was shocked that those, you know, that clique is willing to go that far, and it has woken me up more to the amount of work that we have to do in order to take government. You know, we either have to match that energy or pass it. You know. I'm not encouraging people to think about killing others, but what I'm saying is that your mindset, you know, you have to be very hard-headed, very, you know, to face these people and say, NNC yafefena.
Is that what Otafire was trying to tell the people? I don't know if you heard Mr. Otafire's speech at a graduation recently, and it sounded like a call to people to say you gotta.
Yeah. I imagine that is what his thought is, and it's not just Otafire. You know, many of the people who are talking against Museveni now were in his corner. You know, because they woke up to the reality of how hungry this guy is for power. So you know, maybe that was our wake-up call as Ugandans. You know, 2021 election, people were very hopeful, people were very engaged, but now we have hit that reality check that this guy needs a lot more than us being passionate, than us expressing our thoughts. You know, he needs someone who is persistent, he needs someone who is consistent, and we have to be overwhelming. Anyway, once I
background eyo njagala tugendeko mu nteekateeka zino. Mwami Nyenje aŋŋamba nnyo nti tuli ku Uganda empya.
Yes, sir.
Uganda empya egitukubirimu nayo ku tochi tulabe. What is the vision here?
Uganda empya ye Uganda enguudo nga temuli binnya, amalwaliro nga mulimu eddagala, abaana nga tebasomera miti ng'okola business n'erama. Omanyi business ye Uganda kati ddiiru. Bw'otakola ddiiru tokola. It's hard to run an honest business nti apangisa edduuka atunda mmere akola sente. Very difficult. Economy ya Uganda is sustained by people in the diaspora. Kubanga abantu bangi nnyo badduseeyo e Uganda bakola bipakasi bye tukola, mirimu gye tukola. Oli olaba ng'alina akaduuka nga ye taggalawo naye ng'alinayo omuntu we n'amukola ki?
Amuliikiriza. Amusasulira ka renti amusasulira
ka renti oba eyazimba edduuka n'amugamba abeeramu edduuka nga ye tasasula renti. Okitegeera? Yoyo omuntu ataggalawo naye abasuubuzi baggala enkya n'eggulo, abasawo beekalakaasa enkya n'eggulo, abasomesa kati n'abaana abavubuka rate of unemployment teyogerekako. Bintu bingi nnyo ebizibu ennyo. Nze nno nasoma telecom engineering e Makerere. Naye ndi wano okitegeera?
Nkitegeera.
Ndi mu kunoonya, ndi mu kukola, nkola nnyo, omusolo gwonna gwe nkola ngusasula mu USA. Ebintu ebyo nno bituluma. Olaba twagala kyusa Uganda, aba professionals abadduseyo. Ate omuntu agenda okusaba visa e Uganda, okuva e Uganda. Ebiseera ebisinga they are the cream. Baana abagenze mu university, baana abamaze S6, baana okitegeera. So the cream of the country has been what? Your brain drain w'ennaku zino.
Batambuddemu ne bagenda.
Yeah, oluusi ne electorate toginenya kubanga ensi zino endala ezitwetoolodde nga Rwanda, Kenya zi-employings abantu baffe. Ogenda okusanga nga ne decisions ezikoleddwa electorate si ze ezisinga okola ki? Okutambuza eggwanga okugizza mu maaso. N'abantu abalondeddwa mu bifo eby'enjawulo si be bantu abakola ki? Abandi badde abali mu bifo ebyo oba okitegeera abantu abeesimbyewo si be bandi badde abeesimbawo. So nno ogenda okulaba nga eggwanga likola ki? Ligenda likolera. So eyo ye Uganda gye tuwagala okutunulamu. Uganda gye tuddayo ne tubeera ne ba professionals, ne tubeera ne discipline mu magye, ne tu respecting our opinions z'abantu. Ne ogenda mu ddwaliro at least n'ofunayo akalagala. N'ogenda mu ddwaliro at least ne bakufaako. N'ozimba ennyumba oyo n'otasula ng'otunula nti bagenda kukumenya bagijjewo. N'otambula mu Uganda oba n'ogenda n'otatya nti bagenda kukuba tteke. Tteke za Uganda ozimanyi?
Nziraba.
Ekiri e Uganda muganda.
Oli waddembe okwe-express oba wayagala kwekalakaasa n'owekalakaasa nga tewali akuganye.
Nga tewali akuganye naye ate okwekalakaasa tusuubira nti tekujja kwetaagisibwa kubanga ebintu bino byonna bwe biba nga weebiri oba weekalakaasa akiri. Ensi bw'eba eteredde oba onoonya. Ffe Uganda abantu olaba
tetulina kweyagalira mu nsi instead nfoto kwekalakaasa.
Ensi bagenda kuginyumirwa. Bannayuganda bagenda kunyumirwa Uganda empya. Gw'omanyi okutambula nga tosobola kuggyayo simu yo. Abantu abakaaba nga babanyakula amasimu. Abantu be basala ensawo. N'ogenda ku airport. Simanyi ddi lwe wasemba genda Uganda.
Very recent. Yeah.
Airport bw'ogiraba bwefaanana naye ekyo kiveeko ne reception gy'ofuna ku airport. URA ekuguumiise otutte essimu 2 baagala musolo, otutte essaati 3 baagala musolo. Kwegamba ensi ekwewuunyisa how it can be that bad, but it's all bad because we've had one president for 40 years. Buli omu akola kyayagala. Omuntu eyandiyambye abantu ate yeeyamba yekka. So that we want to change things. We want to change how the country is run in general, and that can be done in maybe 2 or 3 ways. I don't want to go into our policy perspective.
Yeah.
But there are 2 concepts of policy that can be what? That can be deployed. Okuza Uganda nebeera ku ntikko. oba nebeera ng'ensi zetwegomba, you know, esinga Rwanda omukulembeze aluddeko bamulonze ne bamulonda naye olaba nga infrastructure at least, olaba nga basirikale at least, olaba nga amalwaliro at least, olaba nga ensi at least, okitegeera. Oluusi abantu tebabeera wanje
kinga waliwo enjawulo
esingako okubeera e Uganda ne Rwanda. Oyinza okubeera e Rwanda notabeera Uganda kubanga services oziraba, enjawulo ogiraba. So mukuzza Uganda obujja twetaaga two policies. Ziri esooka eri redistributive. No. So oba mbinnyonnyole biri technical nnyo. Oyagala ogendayo eyo muganda wange?
Highlights kubanga n'obudde kakati eddakiika ezizo zituggwako. Summarize, just mention, then wetunaafuna obudde olulala, maybe we'll come back, go detail one at a time or two. But.
So policies ziri bbiri. Esooka eri distributive and redistributive. Nti parliamenti bafuna million 3, right? Naye ezo sente bwe tuziteeka si kuzijjayo zonna, naye bwe tuzisala ne tuziredistributinga. Priorities zaffe, redistributive policies.
Okay.
Right?
No, I should take it.
Priorities zaffe ne tuzikyusa nti Museveni okubeera mu State House. Omanyi budget ya State House eya last year?
Namba sijina mutwe naye nga sente nyingi zendabye zogerako.
Kati nno kanjikutegeeze. $677 million a year.
Wow.
600
just State House budget.
$7 million. Nzikiriza verifying enamba zange ezo. Edakiika emu yokka. Abantu bankotinge Uganda State House budget wano ku Google. Uganda State House budget. Uganda wange.
Just sente nyingi. I think it's a lot more money.
Egamba 52.7 trillion anti erinnya buli kaseera. 52.7 trillion shillings. It might amount to that. 600. This is trillion shillings. That is $677 million. At least I've read that somewhere before. Trillion shillings, 52.7 trillion shillings, which could amount to $677 million every year.
Yeah.
Mu mwaka mulimu ennaku 356. 365, sorry.
Yeah.
That is almost, we're dividing a 677 by 365 days. That is almost $2 million every day.
Wow. Let that sink in. Let that sink in, huh?
Let that sink in.
Let that sink in. So that's a lot of money.
$2 million every time we have Museveni as president of Uganda. Every single day. So the redistributive policies are, why do you run a state house, someone's home, okay, costing $2 million? Do you know a business that you can start for $2 million? Weberefanana. Nga buli lunaku otandikayo emwemu nga ya $2 million.
In Uganda, you do a lot. You do a lot.
Even here.
Even in the US.
If you had $2 million every day, you could run the world.
You do a lot.
This guy spends that on his family. Nze banenya naye obanenya olekamu ne bakwata miliyoni 5 ne babikuteeka mu nsawo. Ochiraba, these people have all that money to throw around, and I wish they were throwing it around for the right reasons, but no, they are throwing it around so that next year that budget can be what? Bigger. Ochegera, zino miliyoni 2 ez'olunaku tezimala. Baagala omwaka ogujja bakole ki? Bongeremu. Oyinza bongeramu mmeka. Anyway.
Inaindala kuba tugenda kufundikira ku top of the hour nina omulomo nasho.
Yeah, nsaba onsonyiwe munnanga nti ne katime sakategedde bulungi. Naye so the policies are two. They are redistributive. Okay? You can run a $500,000 state house. That's a lot of money anyway, right? You can run a $500,000 state house and redistribute that $1.5 million into education, schools, hospitals, roads, etc., right?
Okay.
That's not too difficult to execute. The other one is regulatory.
Okay.
Okay. Okulabanga NEMA. So there are two types of policies that can be implemented to make Uganda better. Uganda, right? Redistributive njogedde ne regulatory. Okulaba nti NEMA bwebe emenya amayumba g'abantu. Right? These are the clear guidelines. Okay? Ate bwebe egenda okumenya abantu babeere revisited year after year. Kubanga tebazuukuka lunaku lumu ne balaba nga ennyumba ezisinga Uganda bazisimbira emyaka 4-5. Okay? So omuntu tasobola kumala nnyumba n'ojja n'ogimenya kubanga gw'ogamba olwo lw'ozuukuse nti ono ali mu lutobazi lw'omenyezza. Ate n'olekawo business endala nti zo zaasaba ki? Olukusa. So regulation kwe kugamba nti the rules to follow are quite clear. Okay? Regulation kwe kugamba nti omuntu bwabba ssente bwakwata miliyoni 5 n'azeddiza agendeko mu kkomera. Tuleme kusiba ba political opponents bokka n'ababbi ba nkoko banyakusiba busimu. Tukwate ne kubano abambala engoye eza miliyoni 2, abambala engoye eza $2,000 obamanya abo.
Yeah.
Abegabira amamotoka amapya. Okay? So the regulation needs to be addressed. So that policies would be redistributive and regulatory. Enda kuvaayo nankyaza olulala ne twogera oluzungu.
Kale neyanziza kakati enkya ya leero nga sinakuta nalabye enkya wa leero watuweereza ku message eyogera ku mwami oyo. What is going on?
Omwami oyo yabadde abducted okuva e Nansana. Ekiro kyabadde ndowooza Thursday night into Friday morning, I believe. Yakwatiddwa abasajja 4 nga bakutte emmundu nga bambadde nga bw'obimanyi ebya drone. So ne bamukwata violently, tetumanyi gyali. Mukyala we yagenza okugulawo omusango ku poliisi ne bamugamba CMI ye muyina. Ne bamugamba addeyo eka amulinde bulinzi banaamutaawo bwe baagalidde. So truly dismayed by this, truly disappointed, truly upset, truly frustrated, twagala omwami oyo ateebwe, ateebwe mbagirawo. Kubanga implications ezizze zituuka ku bana abantu. Tebayiga Anite bamusiba e US bakayihura tebakyasobola kujja wano. Anite tebamusiba ngambye kusiba naye bamuziyiza okugenda bamuwa bandi.
Bamuteekako envumbo.
Bamuwa bandi bamugobe UK ne Dubai, Middle East takyasobola kugenda. Kati abasirikale abawa orders zino naye naabo bennyini abenyigira mu bikolwa bino kyovola babajja bambadde obukookolo kuba bamanyi waliwo abasirikale abamu betugulako emisango personally. Era ntwala omukisa guno okutegeeza abasirikale nti ffe tunyumirwa nnyo naye bwe weenyigira mu bikolwa bino eby'obumenyi bw'amateeka tuba tetulina kirala kya kukolera okujjako kutwala mu mbuga z'amateeka naye ne reputation yammwe muba mugitta ebintu bye tukola birwanira abaana bammwe n'abakyala bammwe so tusaba Akireewo Kivumbi ateebwe embagirawo ate tumanyi nti bajja mutta naye ekisinga otutiisa bye babakola mu makomera ebyo nabyo oba ndibyogerako olulala abakuba abatokyalinda n'ebintu ebirala mwami Ssaalongo Tukikube nzikiriza mpite mu programu yaffe kubanga saagala weekend eno etuuke ng'abantu tebamanyi ki kye tugenda kukola
gisabule ku speed
programu ya NUP conversion ey'oku 8th to the 12th of this month egenda kutandika ku Lwokuna tubeera tu arrivinga abantu abalala bagenda kujja Friday naye ku Lwokuna tujja tandika oku arrivinga hotel eri Marriott O'Hare Chicago kumpi ne airport. I believe it's 10 minutes from the airport or so.
Yeah.
So day one or work another 8th registration. Then to a leadership training workshop waliwo ba professors abave yuteyo abagenda oku training aba leaders kubanga we have a leadership shortage in Uganda as a whole, even in the diaspora. So that is vital. Never chapter leaders baffe bonna bagenda kubeerawo. Then after that, olweggulo tujja kubeera ne soccer tournament and a picnic barbecue. Then day 2 tugenda ku demonstration ku State Department ya Chicago against corruption and human rights. Tugenda kwekuŋŋaanya tujja kwata train okuva ku hotel ffenna tukuŋŋaane downtown. Permits zonna bazisecuring zedda shout out Mwami Derek, Mwami Nyenje, Comrade Helen mwebale bikola byonna. After the demonstration tujja genda ku airport twanirizeeyo ku bagenyi abakulu. After the airport today ku hotel tulinayo Juma prayers zirimu Sheikh Mamlaki
kwaliku okay ntegeddewo yeah.
Zigenda kubeera ku hotel agenda kuzilidingira
ku hotel yeah. Sheikh Mamlaki yagenda okukulemberamu enteekateeka ezo ku Friday
omumanyi bulungi
omumanyi.
Then tukole presentation of papers in the afternoon. Then waliwo women empowerment event. It's like a party like event naye nga tugenda kwogera kuba human rights survivors. Eddie Mutu agenda kuba ayogera, Eddie Mutu agenda kujja. Eddie Mutwe ba political prisoners Dr. Lina Zedriga eyakakwatibwa omanyi bagezaako mukwataawo ennaku ezitali nnyingi nnyo emabega. Agenda kuba ayogera about their experiences, ba torture prisoner, ba torture victims, ba political prisoners, abantu ababiseemu Nubian Lee bamusibira emyezi 7. Comrade Ashraf Kasirye ali wano Boston agenda kubeerawo bamukuba ekikompola mu mutwe. Bantu bangi abagenda okwogera about their experiences. Okay. But that event has been organized by the women. That's Friday night. On day 3, that is Saturday, to our youth workshop in the morning, to our panel discussions by guest speakers, flyer wajirabye, to senator, to congressman, to linza response ya governor we Chicago, n'abantu abalala abenjawulo. After the guest speakers, we go for lunch in the evening. Tugenda ku boat cruise. Jamanyi nti abavubuka be Chicago besunze okamala obumazi. Kuliko ba entertainers abenjawulo, Mickey Wine, banji bagenda kubeerako oku entertaininga abalala from the diaspora. Sunday waliwo Tuke run kumacha. Ezono activities tuzikola for team building. Tweyongera okumanyagana, so waliwo Tuke run ate tuwayo ka donation akati need to run, so those collections go to our political prisoners and their families. So waliwo Tuke run eyo sobola ojja enyigiramu interdenominational prayers abalokole bakatuliki fenna abakkiririza mu Katonda tugenda kubeera wo n'okusaba era ku hotel. Then annual general meeting ey'aba members weetaaga ka membership card ka NUP ka $5 zokka bw'oba tonnakafuna naye bw'oba okayina jangu buzi. And then closing ceremony, a ballroom dinner gye tusembyayo nayo usually abantu, you know, the glamorous event of the night, waliwo entertainment n'omukulembeze bw'anaaba asiimye ajja kubayo akayimba kamu oba bubiri. So tubeerewo tuyige tuwulirize. Waliwo abantu abajja eri diverse nnyo. Waliwo abantu abajja nga baze ku boat cruise, waliwo abajja nga baze ku ballroom dinner, waliwo abajja nga baze kudduka, abamu bajja nga baze kusaala, abalala bajja. So siyinza kugamba nti jangu ku luno olunaku lwe lusinga obukulu, naye event yonna those several days olina kutunula butunuzi ku program n'ogamba kino kye kisinga okunkolera, I can't miss this. Then you work your program around that. Neyanza nnyo neyanza egensonyi okutwala obudde obungi mukama wange. You know, omukisa gwagumpadde era ngweyanza.
Kaliso webale nnyo welida tujja kufuna akakisa omulungi omulala tweyongere okulambulula.
Yes sir.
I like the high level distribution and redistributive. I think I found that very interesting. Yeah, and it can be expanded quite a bit.
Exactly. You can dig in. Naye obudde bwo era abantu banenye gwe.
Kale tujja kufuna omulundi omulala. Deyanziza. Pagaza weekend ennongi.
Naawe bw'oti.
Just